In this video, Clive Halls from Mt Beenak Orchids takes us through his greenhouse. He shows us some of the many Sarcochilus orchids that he has growing, both species and hybrids, and talks a little bit about the process of development of the wonderful new hybrids that are now available.
Okay, so what are we looking at here? A rather large Sarcochilus. This is probably one of the bigger types. It's called Roy Gill. Has been awarded several times in the past. So it's got these two really big spikes and very big growth. And right next to it here, we've got the parent. So you can see a very similar flower structure, but the plant growth is much smaller. So this hybrid was made by using the Melba here with another hartmannii, the true species, and it produced this. It is rather abnormally large, but it's certainly very beautiful. Then we go to the other extreme, where we look at these little chains of small open flowered orchids, which are bred from a little species called australis. And australis, as a species, grows in the bush up in the bunyip forest behind us here, and throughout most parts of southern Australia where it's cool, Tasmania as well. It's a little twig epiphyte, quite small growth. Even this is a hybrid, of course, but it's a completely different flower form to what we have with these big hartmannii style Sarcochilus. Okay, so we have another style here, and a little bit more open flower. It's got this beautiful bright yellow lip and lovely freckles and a slightly upright spike habit, which is quite nice, but the yellow lip I think is quite beautiful. This is called Gabriella and was bred by the late Neville Roper from New South Wales, and is one of the plants we'll use in our hybridizing program. More of this spotted type, and they can be quite large flowers or small flowers or open flowers. They all come from the same breeding line. In fact, there's a little one here which is completely different flower style, but is the same breeding. This particular cross did throw up a huge different variety of flower types, whereas others, like this cross here, is Magic, again made by Neville Roper, and the majority of those were quite solid reds. They didn't vary anywhere near as much. So the other colour that's been very difficult to obtain actually are the yellows, and they're getting bigger and better all the time now. So we started with two rather spidery looking whites with yellow centres, and have progressed them out to these much fuller flowers with the yellow centre. They're in fact albinos. They're a red flower where all the red colour has been replaced by pure colour saturation, so they look completely different, but they're actually an albino red flower. So the next colour that we've been trying to achieve is orange, and orange is difficult to get because when you breed a red with a yellow, you don't get orange. You get mixtures of those two colours, but not like mixing paint in your hand. The oranges are obtained by breeding plants of that type of colour range together and constantly improving the orange. There's one to your right, John, which is a bit paler. That was probably one of the parents, so you can see we've improved the colour a lot, but we've probably lost a bit of size. And then we'll take these oranges back onto these very bright yellows like we have here, and yellow usually improves the orange colours. The problem is the size. It tends to reduce them quite a bit. Then we have these beautiful whites. We call these poached egg types. They're white with the yellow centre, and we're really looking for the white to be white and the yellow to be as bright as possible. And then somewhere in between, you've got these sort of soft pinks, and you can see the little freckles in the flower there. So imagine this was a pink or red flower. They would be the colour markings. Can we look at this one here? You see the little freckles there? So that one is an albino form of this. So it's quite interesting, and a lot of breeding has been done to keep these albino colours pure. This is nice. You get these lovely red and white contrasting colours. Contrast in the colours always makes the flower very appealing. And to the right we've got an orangey tone. This is actually made by crossing one of the bright scarlets with a yellow, and it has gone into these odd colour tones, but it's still rather experimental with all these things to find out what you'll get from certain breeding lines. We'll look at, this is what we call the bullseye type, where you have a white flower with a big red centre. They're extremely popular, and some of them have very dark, almost black centres to them, which is extraordinary. But this is the more usual type. They're usually quite big flowers. And this one's rather lovely. Really good contrast. And still plenty of spotted ones. Somewhere I did see the species hartmannii here. I think we just walked past her. Here. So this is the species hartmannii from New South Wales, and used as the backbone of most of the breeding of these rather large rounded flowers. Okay. This is a new seedling from our own breeding, using the red ones and white ones we've been looking at. Particularly made it to try and get these splashes of white on the edges of the petals, because that is a little bit different and looks really attractive, and it came out 100% on this one.
If you'd like to know a little more about these wonderful orchids, check out the video on growing and repotting Sarcochilus orchids. Subscribe to the YouTube channel for regular updates on all aspects of gardening, and as always, good luck with your own gardening.